Hello, I thought it was probably time to do a studio update from me. We've done lots and lots of stuff, lots of work to go still, but I thought I'd bring you up to speed with where we're at. This is the garage. Several of you have been here before. Rock climbing wall, lots of bikes, furniture, and a heap of wood, which we salvaged from the renovation we did upstairs, which I'm hoping to use in my studio space. Anyway, without further ado, this is the doorway that we cut through the wall of our garage. When we cut through, the dirt was up to about here. So if you can imagine, this is the level of dirt that we've removed right across here. This was actually the floor level. This level here was where the ground was, where you used to walk in. So we've done a lot of digging, and obviously because there's a slab here, the slab is about that thick, so it was actually lower than this. So we've done this 1 brick high wall around the edge of the slab, and that's pretty much just for waterproofing purposes. So we've painted the back of that little brick wall now, and yesterday I actually dropped an Aggie pipe in the whole way around, a flexible Aggie pipe hose with the sock around the side to filter any water that comes in, and then I laid the scoria rock on top. So hopefully we're well protected. I've certainly worked in rooms before underneath houses that have been a little bit wet, and the smell, it's not real good. It's not actually real healthy. So this is our space. As you can see, a lot of dirt has come out. You can actually see all the jackhammering lines through here. A few people to thank. Malcolm Tiddy gave me a day or two. Nick Brody came and helped several times. And Cam Young gave me a hand one day. So a bunch of people have really kind of chipped in, and Katie, my wife, and even our kids have come along to do some jackhammering. Dan Craig from Resource Build, who's our builder, and has done a magnificent job upstairs and has done some great work down here too. He lent me a great jackhammer and a couple of great jackhammers actually, which made a big difference. And I've done a lot of time-lapse video, so you'll eventually be able to see all of that too. So I did actually remove 14 concrete stumps out of this area. You can see one of the concrete stumps up here. That might only be about 500 or 600 mil long, that stump. And so I had to take them all out, prop in between them, and then replace them with these guys. So these are 100 by 100 steel posts, which are our new stumps, basically replacing what we used to have here. One thing I didn't think about when I ordered these is how much of a resonating chamber they would be. If I was a mathematician, maybe I would have filled the sand in these stumps to different heights or something to create like a chord in the resonance of the room, but I thought I'd better just fill them all up with sand. So I ended up drilling a hole at the top of each stump and tipping sand painstakingly. Each one takes about an hour or two just to fill them with sand to the top, but it makes a huge difference, as you can see. Solid as a rock. And then these are the last two here. This one and that one in the corner there are the last two that I need to do. So here's some of the building materials we're going to be using to build the framework. So along here, on top of the brickwork, we're putting in structurally insulated panels. So we start by sticking and bolting down a 90 by 45 piece of pine, sticking the structurally insulated panel on top of that, screwing that into the bottom of that bearer there, or the side of that bearer, and then we build the pine frame in between our stumps. That way we maximise the size of our room. We also get a very thick wall that will hopefully be acoustically strong. I'm going to line the ceiling with an underfloor insulation, not this stuff. All this stuff is coming out, not the white stuff. That's all to be removed. I get a much more dense stuff up there, and then we're going to do mass-loaded vinyl, 2 layers of plaster. So we're going to use resilient channel and resilient mounts, and I've got one example here. This is that's a resilient mount. You click a bit of furring channel into that, and the furring channel has actually got checkouts in the side, so it's meant to absorb sound in and of itself. Then 1 layer of fire check, which is about 16 mil. Some green glue in between those 2 layers of plaster, and the top layer of plaster will probably be sound block plaster, which is about 13 mil. And once we've done all that, we can start actually looking at things like painting and floor surfacing and all that kind of stuff. So the layout of there's 2 rooms here. This will be the live room where there's the drums. There'll be a 2 meter tall, an 850 mil wide panel of double glazed glass one each side, so that's quadruple glazed. And then a wall in here. Over here, we'll have a door that swings in that way, and another door that swings around that way there, and then a small section of wall in here. That is my boys yelling at each other outside. All good. Over here, this is as close to the front of the house as I felt I could dig. So we're probably going to box in along the bottom of a window that's going to be here, and another window that's going to be there. That's my view to outside, or what will be my view to outside. So we're going to box this in along here, probably drop down here. I'll have a nice big shelf here. I've got a cupboard or a cabinet to go in here. And then the wall will be here. So a cabinet here won't be blocking my view through the 2 metre window over here. So working our way around the room here, this will all be framed up and plastered. And then I'll have a nice big swing door into the room. There'll be a box around here, so you'll step through for the ensuite, step down one layer, and then you'll be onto the ground level of the studio. There'll be a box that'll go along here. Here's the sump pit. It'll pump out the water. Any water that comes in around here will be pumped out. And I'm just about to start the process of tipping this sand into these stumps there and there, which is a bit of fun. Not after doing 6 already. Anyway, so we'll put this along here, and then the really fun bit is, of course, Star Wars related, knowing me. Here's a cabinet that I picked up from Bunnings for pretty cheap the other day. That guy's going to sit in there, nice and big, nice and proud, and contain my whole Star Wars collection. So that's an update from me, a little bit longer than I thought that I'd take to do it. But finishing off, this is the verse that enabled me to fill 22 skips of dirt and rock. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And that is absolutely true. I had that verse, Philippians 4:13, in my head, and I had to write it on the wall here. And a lot of you probably don't believe it or think it's mumbo jumbo, whatever. But I believe that had I not written that verse on the wall, I believe that I would have conked out about halfway through this dig. So signing off from me. Stay tuned for updates. And once we're in and the room's finished, I'll be providing a nice long video with time-lapse footage, and this is all the insulation as well. Tonsin Acoustisorb. But anyway, moving on. See you later.